watching the sunset on Tennessee hills. I wish I could capture it, I never will. 'Cause I'm not a painter, can't stay in the light.
Hello, welcome back to my channel, Rosy and Real. My name is Nikki. If you're new here, I have a type 1 diabetic daughter. She's my youngest daughter. And part of what I do on this channel is share recipes and tips and tricks for what has been successful with us when it comes to diabetes management for a child specifically. She was diagnosed at 7 months. She is about to celebrate her 3rd birthday. So she's very young to have been diagnosed. She was, at the time, her endocrinologist let us know that she was about 1 in 250,000 as far as being diagnosed that young. It's very rare, but it is becoming more common. So I thought there were really not that many resources out there specifically for our age group when she was diagnosed, and now we are finally kind of able to come up for air a little bit now that we're 2.5 years in almost. I thought it was time to try and make some resources, and hope if they work for you, wonderful. These are just things that have worked for us. I'm not an endocrinologist. I am not a certified dietitian. I am not a diabetic specialist. I specialize in my baby's diabetes. So that's my little disclaimer. So I cannot guarantee that these things will work for you as far as things that we've done with her diet and activity levels and stuff like that, because that there is no one size fits all when it comes to type 1 diabetes, whether it's the actual condition for the person, the management, it just does not matter. There is such a spectrum, and it's very frustrating. But these are things that we have found that help us, and I have compiled some studies for today's video that support why they're so helpful. So today's video is kind of a partnership video with the recipe that I launched this morning. It is my new series that I have begun, and it is called Avocado Incognito. So a little backstory. About going close to 2 years ago now, we noticed that when our youngest daughter, who has type 1 diabetes, when she would eat a decent amount of avocado, she had beautiful blood sugars. She was very responsive to the insulin. She did not need as much insulin to come down and stay stable. She very rarely spiked when she would have it. And if you have a child, especially an infant or a toddler, then you know the roller coaster. You know exactly what I'm talking about when I mention that. The glucose levels are here, and then they're here, and then they're here, and then they're here. We were more this 2 years ago. Now, very often we're like this. So we're getting there. And especially lately, she's been extremely stable, and I will try to remember to share some images of her CGM to show you that. But anyway, we noticed that she was extremely stable. She had a lot of energy. She was doing great. She was feeling good. She was staying at a healthier glucose level for longer. Everything was fantastic. Problem is, about that time, she turned 1, and or she was probably close to about 1.5, I think, when we really discovered this. She was into the toddler stage, and if you are a parent, you are fully aware that a toddler's favorite food for months can quickly become the thing that they hate the most. So she went from eating it every single day, eating like a whole avocado, sometimes 2 every single day, to hating it. She wouldn't even take a bite. And we did see a decrease in how well we were able to manage her diabetes, how well we were able to control. So I recently decided, why not bake with it? Why not put it in? I had a bunch of avocados, and I wanted to make some green cookies for some recipes for a St. Patrick's Day themed video to put on here. And I thought, well, let's use avocado. That's a healthy fat. It's great for us. It can replace the butter, which we don't really care about replacing butter. We love butter. We let her eat butter raw. It's one of the few things that she can just eat and eat and eat, and we don't have to worry about it. But if you are someone that wants to completely replace butter, go for it. You can use avocado to completely replace it in pretty much all the recipes that I'll be sharing, or you can do a hybrid where you use some butter and use some avocado. Up to you. So yeah, so I decided to make some cookies with the avocado, fully replacing the butter just to see. And not only did they come out delicious and extremely moist, oh my gosh, we noticed her blood sugars were doing what they did before when she would just eat just fresh avocado. So I decided, okay, we need to have these in the house at all times. Each of these cookies is like not even 2 net carbs, depending on the recipe that you'll be doing, that I'll be releasing on this channel. Each of these are maybe 2 net carbs. I don't even bolus for them most of the time. Like because of the way avocado works, this just doesn't spike her. And I'll get into that. I like I said, I have notes. I will get into that. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. So, and I mean, I've put it in cookies, brownies, mac and cheese, smoothies, ice cream. And she eats it. Now, she does like the taste of avocado. She's just in that weird, I don't want it fresh phase. So even if it does kind of taste avocado-y, like in a smoothie, I don't have to mask it in a smoothie. She'll just drink that thing down. But if you want to, I will be having a bunch of recipes put up that even if you're not doing this because it's a picky child, even if you yourself just want to eat more avocado, but you hate the taste of avocado, these recipes are for you. I promise you. They're so good. They're so good. And they're amazing for your blood sugar, whether you're type 1, type 2, they're really good for your blood sugar. So, so why is avocado so great? Well, number one, okay, so avocado is packed with monounsaturated fat, specifically oleic acid, which is, and it's about 20 grams in a whole avocado. And that's the same healthy fat that is found in olive oil. So these fats are amazing at slowing down the gastric emptying. And that's where it's the rate of how the food leaves your stomach and enters your small intestine and starts getting absorbed. Slower emptying means that you will have a slower rise in your glucose because it's a slower absorption. So instead of getting a spike, you might get just a gentle, pretty much, depending on what else you ate, obviously. I mean, if you're eating these cookies, but then you're also eating a regular pizza, then I can't help you. But I mean, it might help a little. It might kind of slow it down a little bit. It might make eating pizza a little more manageable. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Give it a try and let me know. But So a Loma Linda University study that was published in 2013 in the Nutrition Journal found that adding half of an avocado to lunch reduced the desire to eat, and despite the extra calories and carbohydrates, there was no increase in blood sugar levels beyond what was observed without avocado. And they also found that the rise in insulin 30 minutes after the meal was reduced when avocado replaced part of the meal. Okay. Another study, this one done in 2022, so a little more recent, it was a randomized control trial by Burton Freeman, and it was published in the Journal of Nutrition, found that daily avocado consumption for 12 weeks had beneficial effects on blood glucose regulation in overweight adults with insulin resistance. So this isn't just for type 1 diabetes. If you have pre-diabetes, if you have type 2 diabetes, if you have anything that causes insulin resistance, I have PCOS, so I have insulin resistance, avocado may be an amazing supplement or food to add to your diet. It could help you. Now, obviously, if you have an allergy or something to it, I would not recommend it. And you should definitely still talk to your doctors, your specialists, your dietitians, whomever you have in your team before adding anything new as far as for medical reasons. But it's definitely something to be thinking about and look into. So for us type 1 diabetic families though, this matters because a slower, more predictable rise in blood sugar means that insulin dosing is way more forgiving. You have way more room for error. You have way more time to correct if you do start to see a rise. That is huge, especially when you are dealing with a child. And I would also argue, now I can't speak for this perspective, I can only speak of the perspective of a parent, but I would imagine that a parent with type 1 diabetes, this is also crucial because you're not just in charge of your health anymore, you're also in charge of making sure that your kids are okay. So if you are not in top condition, and I'm here to tell you that based on how my daughter acts, when her blood sugar is not at a good space, not at a good place, I can only imagine what it would be like to be a parent, a type 1 diabetic parent, having to parent and your blood sugar is off the charts or dipping way too low. So yeah, top of the fats. This is something that makes avocado really unique. It's because it doesn't just have these amazing fats, because you can find these fats in other foods, and I'll probably make another video later about where else you can find these fats. It's also the fiber content of the avocado. So it brings serious fiber, about 10 grams in a whole avocado, which that's a healthy chunk. And a good chunk of that is soluble fiber. Yes. So for those of you that don't know, there's insoluble fiber and there's soluble fiber. Insoluble fiber, it's the fiber not only can we not digest it, but it really doesn't. It just goes through us, pretty much. That's why for diabetes, you normally don't bolus for total carbs. When there's fiber included in those carbs, you bolus for the net, because fiber, we don't absorb it. That's not a carb that we can absorb. We can't digest it, we can't absorb it. It just goes through us. Soluble fiber, we still don't digest it, but it does something really cool. It forms a gel-like substance in our gut that further slows down all the glucose absorption. So it almost kind of acts like a temporary barrier. So kind of, it's just like, wait a minute, stop. So it actually acts as a second layer of protection on top of the fat. And here's another study. Research from the Illinois Institute of Technology confirmed that fats and fibers slow gastric emptying which remember, that's how, when the gastric emptying is when food leaves your stomach and enters your small intestine, and the glucose and nutrients as well can start to be absorbed. The slower that is, the less likely you are to have a spike. So you want it really slow. So it confirmed that fats and fibers slow gastric emptying, delay nutrient absorption, which that's not a bad thing, because remember, some of the nutrients are glucose. So if that's delayed, that's a good thing, okay, as well for type 1 diabetics. Now, again, speak to your doctors because I don't know what your condition is. And they modulate glucose and insulin responses. So avocado is very unique because it contains both of these in one food. So the study was all about, if you have these fats and you have this fiber, it's gonna be great for you. Well, avocado has both. So you don't have to eat a bunch of this and a bunch of that to get the same result. You just eat the avocado and you have everything. It's just wrapped up in one beautiful little bow. It's fantastic. So you're getting fat slowing things down and the fiber slowing things down. So double protection. So on top of this, so you've got the fats, you've got the soluble fiber, you also have the minerals, okay? Two main ones to be exact, potassium and magnesium. So it is loaded with both of these. And they are these two minerals, they directly impact insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. So how sensitive you are to insulin dictates how much insulin you need. So when my daughter eats a lot of these avocado recipes, she's very sensitive to the insulin. So she doesn't need nearly as much. So we just bolus as needed, and she stays pretty stable, and we're not over here having to correct, and it's fantastic. A lot of the times she's on a continuous glucose monitor, and then the pump that she is on is the Omnipod 5, and so she has a basal insulin constantly being put out in the background. A lot of times, depending on what she has eaten, that basal is good enough to manage her, and we do not have to bolus nearly as much. We still do, even if it's a food that does not have carbs at all, which will be another video. We do extended bolusing because proteins and fats, well, proteins will spike you later on. Fats, depending on what they are, can lead to insulin insensitivity, which means you need more. So that'll be another video though, because that was something that we were not taught, and I want to help everyone as much as possible. So a whole avocado has about 3 times more potassium than a banana. And I don't know about you, but I grew up being told that banana was king of potassium, and if I wanted potassium, to eat a banana. Apparently that's not the case. The avocado is the king of potassium. So magnesium is also one of those minerals that many people with diabetes run low on. Many people with insulin resistance tend to run low on magnesium. Me with PCOS, I run low on magnesium. I take a magnesium supplement if I don't eat the magnesium during the day. I usually am able to eat my magnesium now, but if I don't, I have a supplement before I go to bed. I have been doing fantastic since I've been making sure I'm getting my magnesium. So here's the study for these two minerals. Research from Baylor College of Medicine noted that a typical serving of avocado provides 345 milligrams of potassium, which is necessary for glucose control, and 19.5 milligrams of magnesium, which is thought to improve glucose tolerance and offer protection against diabetes. So again, avocado is not just for people that already have diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2. If you have pre-diabetes, if you have a condition that makes you more prone to developing diabetes down the road, if you have a family history of diabetes, this may be something to think about. So avocado, it's not just passively slowing down sugar absorption. It's actively supporting metabolic pathways that help my daughter's body respond to the insulin. So she doesn't need as much, and she can do a slow rise, and she can stay stable way more often. So now here's a big study that I want to mention because it pertains very much to our community. Even though it was pretty much done on type 2 diabetes, a lot of the concepts are still the same. A lot of the management is still the same. They're not the same. I do want to make that clear. Type 1 and type 2 are two different diseases, and honestly, in my opinion, they should probably have different names. They shouldn't both be called diabetes, but this is where we are. So this was the Hispanic Community Health Study / study of Latinos, and it looked at nearly 15,000. This is one of the reasons I really like this study, because it's a very large sample size. 15,000 Hispanic and Latino adults, and evaluated associations between avocado intake and blood sugar measures. So here's what was found. In people with type 2 diabetes, the avocado intake was associated with lower hemoglobin A1C and lower fasting glucose. It's fantastic. Your A1C is a really good marker for diagnosing whether or not you have diabetes. A healthy A1C is anything below 5.7. 5.7 to 6.4 is considered pre-diabetes, so you still have a chance to turn it around. Don't give up. And then anything over 6.4, you have diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2. You have it, you will have it for the rest of your life. Even if it's type 2, there is no cure, even for type 2. Now you can put it in remission in a sense, but you will always have it, and you will always be prone to your A1C jumping up, your blood glucose jumping up if you do not manage it well. Avocado might be a great thing to help you manage it. And it may be great if you have pre-diabetes. It may be something really great to think about for turning that around and getting out of the pre-diabetes. So, also, a follow-up analysis found that consuming avocado was associated with a 25% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Again, if you're in pre-diabetic range, think about it. And for those with pre-diabetes, they had a 31% reduction in risk. Numbers don't lie. So now, most of these studies, again, they focused on type 2 diabetes and not type 1. But again, the mechanisms are the same. The fat slowing absorption, the fiber, the minerals, supporting insulin sensitivity, all of that applies to type 1 diabetic management as well. We're not trying to prevent diabetes. We have it. My daughter has it. I'm trying to prevent diabetes. Type 2 diabetes runs on both sides of my family. And again, I have PCOS and I already have insulin resistance, and I'm at a much higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes just from the PCOS, but not to mention my family history. So I am trying to prevent it, but for my daughter, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We have it, but we can mitigate, we can manage, and that's what we're working on doing. So we're trying to keep her blood sugar stable, essentially. And avocado does that beautifully. So now the practical problem, again, she's a toddler and she doesn't know, well, it's really good for me, and if I just eat it, then I'll be in a better place. She's not there yet. So, and even some adults, I do it. There have been plenty of times that I'm like, I should really eat my salad or my eggs for breakfast instead of pancakes or what have you. So everybody does it. So again, honestly, these recipes are not just for a picky toddler. They can be for adults. I eat them and I love them. My husband loves them. My eldest daughter loves them. She's 8. So they're for everybody. If you literally just want to get more avocado in your diet, they're for you. So have fun with it. But I mean, the whole point of this series is, for whatever reason, if you're trying to get more avocado into your diet or a loved one's diet, for whatever reason, and especially if you need to try to hide it, then this is for you. It's Avocado Incognito. You will not taste them in these recipes. You will not. I use cacao powder for my chocolate ones, masks it. I've used lime in the cookies that I posted today. I'll link that in below. We did a lime avocado cookie, and I'm calling them shamrocks, and you'll see why. You can't taste it. It tastes like a vanilla lemon, even it's lime cookie, and it is delicious, and it's green for St. Patrick's Day, so perfect timing. And ice creams, like I said, mac and cheese, the cheese sauce covers it. Brownies, again, the cacao covers it. There's so many options, so many options. So she eats a chocolate cookie and she has no idea sometimes that there's avocado in it, because I didn't tell her. I just let her eat it. Thankfully, she's not picky enough that if I told her there was avocado in it, that she would stop. Or maybe she would be if they weren't so delicious. I don't know. Maybe that's why she keeps eating them, because they are delicious. So she eats a full serving of avocado in there, and she may not even realize that it's there. And every time, flat lines, happy kids. It's great to be able to make something that everybody in the house will eat, and it's good for everyone in the house, especially my type 1 diabetic. So this series is going to walk you through recipe after recipe after recipe where the avocado just disappears, essentially, except for all of the nutrition benefits, of course. And every recipe will have full macros and the science behind its working, and real CGM results when I'm able to post those as well. So my first recipe is already up. Keto lime avocado cookies are shamrocks, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, like I said. Subscribe so you do not miss the rest. Comment below and tell me what recipe you'd like for me to put avocado in next. And like I always say, here at Rosy and Real, we do not settle, we solve. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to you viewing my next video. Bye.
Just sitting here sipping on day.